came to this part of the country from Virginia. He came right up through Monroe County and up through Beckley, about where Route 3 runs, and from there they got over here. Can you get it?
Yeah. Estill E. Humphreys was...
He is my uncle. He was my dad's brother, and he was killed in 1935 in a car accident on Begley Avenue. And that night, they called where I was boarding, and I went to the funeral home and identified him, and he was just stretched out on a table, hadn't even washed at all. This is my grandfather, my father's father. He was a farmer and a veterinarian. His only problem was he didn't collect for his work. He just did things for people, and maybe get a bushel of potatoes or something like that every once in a while. If he'd have charged money, he'd have been a lot better off. And this is his wife, Josephine Woodall Humphreys, my grandmother.
So this is Otis Humphreys, and he was the son of Jacob Jr. Humphreys and the brother of Eric V. Humphreys. So here's another one of Eric Vinton Humphreys' brothers, Robert E. and his wife, Layla Wolf.
House.
Vince Huffman's house.
This is Vince Huffman's house. It was standing there when we moved to Wills Creek as a little boy, and as long as I can remember, it's been there. And he had a store, a little red store that was under the interstate now. That's where the store was located. It was across the creek from here. And we used to come there to the grocery store, and I've come there myself on more than one occasion with a dozen eggs or a chicken to trade for groceries. I've come there many times to get groceries for Mama and carried them back on the hill with me where we were.
Okay, Uncle Clement, what have we got here?
Well, this is the grave of C.S. or Thad Humphreys, who was the brother of my grandfather, and the 4-year-old daughter of Holt Humphreys, who was the brother of Thad and my grandfather. And this is a name that we heard often as children, because this 4-year-old girl died with some disease that I don't know about. But, you know, like this is C.S. Humphreys, that's Thad, Grandpa Humphrey's brother, born June, I don't know what that is. Tell them, I can't.
C.S. Humphreys, born June 10th, 1801. Died November, what is that? 7th, 1888. Victoria, daughter of F.A. and V.F. Humphreys, born July 1st, 1891. The sweet remembrance of the just shall flourish when they sleep in dust.
And who was this, Uncle Clement?
She was the daughter of Holt Humphreys and Aunt Jenny, who Holt was my grandfather's brother, and Jenny was my mother's aunt.
This is Harriet Humphreys, wife of Jacob Judy Humphreys. Born
April 12, 1835, died December 12, 1888.
And Jacob Judy Humphreys was the father of Jacob Jr., who was the father of Eric Vinton.
Grave of Lewis Brickman, July 4th, 1870, April 3rd, 1896. The father of my mother, Lydia, James Brookman.
And then the inscription says, A precious one from us is gone, a voice we loved is still. A place is vacant in our home which never will be filled. Now, he was 26 years old. He had 3 children and 1 to be born. He died in April, and his last child was born in September. That was Addie, that you always heard Mommy talk about Addie. Grandpa Humphreys told me that he sat with him while he died. But he said that he said, I see Christ the Father, I see Christ the Father sitting in heaven on the right hand of God the Father. That's who it was. And then he started clapping his hands like he did in those days, shouting. And he said he clapped his hands and shouted until he could only wave one hand, and he died waving one hand. And he said, like all those people said, take what little I have and pay my just and honest debts and use the rest for my wife and little children. Those were his last words.
This is the grave of William L. Brookman, born August 14th, 1836. Died July 5th, 1915.
Correction, that's 36.
36. He died as he lived, a Christian.
He said 36.
This is the grave of Adeline V. Brookman, born February 11th, 1844. We didn't get this cleaned up, Clem. Adeline V. Brookman, born February 11th, 1844. I treated that, but
Died.
we didn't read them.
This is the tomb of William L. Brookman, Grandma Lydia, my mother. This is her father. This is also, her grandfather. They had this, William L. Brookman and Adeline Naylor Brookman had one child, Louis Brookman, who was my mother's father. He died when he was 26 years old in 1896, and his
The lid.
As you can see, Louis Brookman died in 1896, and this was about when Grandma was, Betty was 2 to 3